Hello everybody, my name is Monica Bessam and this is my PowerPoint presentation. And his name was Ramon Lull, is who I did mine on. A little bit about Ramon Lull. Was born in Ciutat, Mallorca, the Kingdom of Mallorca, and there was differing dates on his birth, whether it was 1232 or 1235. He was a descendant of a crusader. His father fought under James the Conqueror in 1229, and his father was actually titled and given an estate based on his duties there. So he was raised in wealth with connections to get him married to Bianca Piccani in 1257, which was a relative to King James II. Notorious for poetry, travel, and philandering, he would step away from his wife often, and he was pretty notorious for this. All of a sudden, he has a change of heart in 1263 with visions of Jesus Christ being crucified, and there was 5 visions that led to his conversion. After his conversion in 1265, he takes a pilgrimage to Barcelona, where he is mentored by the author of the Canonical Laws, Raymond Pennyfort. The canonical laws were actually still implemented by the Catholic Church, I believe, until the 1970s. So, rather than leaving for Paris on vocation for his religious conquest, he is told by other religious people that he should return to Mallorca to do his studies, so he'll kind of be a purist in the religious world. So at this point, he decides his crusade is going to be on actually the Muslim community and their conversion. So he purchases a Moor slave, which is a Muslim, generally of African descent, and this will be how he will learn the Arabic language and their culture. Focus will be his conversion, as I stated. Latin is the preferred language generally in the religious world as far as priests and popes and things like that. So he was kind of looked down on by other religious leaders, and they didn't take him very serious because he would rather learn the language of the people he was converting versus being their spiritual guide through his language and his understanding of Latin. The slave is his teacher and translator for 9 years that schools him. And there's a little turn here. So in 1274, he publishes his first book, Logica del Agazellan, the Book of Contemplation, and his slave attempts to kill Lull. So something happened in their relationship here, and this is very interesting. And they said that not only did the slave try to kill Lull, but he's imprisoned for this attempted murder, and while he's in prison, he commits suicide. Because of this, Lull has like a nervous breakdown, does not handle it well, and he goes off into the woods basically and just studies religion and rites and needs a time of reflection. Upon this time, King James II of Mallorca needs a win because he's trying to establish himself as someone that is going to lead the country further in religion and crusades, because his country is divided between himself and Peter III. There's a need to move away from civil wars and focus on religion. So prior to any attempts to convert the Muslims in Granada, which will happen centuries later, King James II sponsors Ramon to open a Franciscan monastery. This monastery is the Miramar Monastery, which is pictured here on the bottom right corner. Only 13 monks will live there, and they will specialize in the Arabic language. So it'll be a very elite society of monks, and the Miramar estate is still ran to this day. I believe it's under private ownership now. So then Lull will go on to explore the geometric patterns of Muslim beliefs, and that's some of the symbolism that's here. There's also a chart of how he takes the alphabet and patterns that into religious beliefs. This was all based off the same era of Aristotle and his contemplation with religion and philosophy and all this stuff. So Lull kind of starts going into this Renaissance time of exploring. So this will lead him to making his own pattern that you will see here in the top right, and the key is to the bottom right. And it's a description to lay out God and self and how we should rely on him. He also, at this point, has said that he has never converted a Muslim based on this idea. So it was just his own exploration of thought. So Lull had a 3-point plan when it came to conversion. First, he needed to learn Arabic and other languages used by Muslims. Second, he studied Islamic literature in order to develop a Christian apologetic in response to Muslim arguments. And third, he desired to give his life as a martyr among the Muslims. But on the second point, he is okay with the fact that he could coexist with the Muslims as long as he understood where they were coming from, and they in turn understood where he was coming from. He was very content with that. So at the age of 83, while in Africa, Lull was stoned and became a martyr for the faith, which was his ultimate plan. Here is a depiction of that on the right, and from his book, Contemplation of God, which was one of the first texts he wrote, he put, "O Lord, thy servant and subject has very great fear of dying and natural death, for he would prefer his death to be noble, as that is, namely, death for thy love." So he actually went into Africa prior to any of the other royals kind of seeking that out to convert or crusade in as far as conquest. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation. Thank you so much. Have a good day. The questions will be posted below for the discussion board. I hope you enjoyed it.